Hello everyone, this is Banter Bill, and welcome to Crucible of Eternity, Path 2 Dungeon Guide. This is not a speedrunning guide, but a guide meant for those who are new to the dungeon, or for those who need a refresher. In terms of class composition, I recommend classes with high melee DPS, so that is why I bring my warrior to this dungeon. Although honestly, any class can do this dungeon. Starting off, we're going to stack on the left hand side, and our goal is to pull the first 3 elementals to us. The elementals have an ice attack that they place on the ground shaped like a V. If you see them place that attack, I recommend dodging out of there, even if it means leaving the stack. That attack does a lot of damage. Then we're off to fight the next group, which is the wolves and the Goliath. Again, we're going to group in a stack, and the goal here is to pull all of them to us. These wolves do have a knockdown, so stability is useful. As a warrior, I usually try to knock them down before they knock me down first. Then we fight the Goliath. He is relatively straightforward, he just has a lot of health. Sweet, and then once we beat the Goliath, we're going to fight the champion wolves. To the champion patch, most groups skipped this wolf. However, this wolf does drop a champion bag now, so I recommend fighting him. You should take out the silver wolf first, because it'll get in your way otherwise. The silver wolf does have a knockdown attack, so bring stability or knock him down first. Protection is very useful for this fight, because the champion wolf has an attack that does a lot of damage that is very hard to predict and dodge, so having that protection can save your life. Sweet, we beat the champion wolf. I recommend applying swiftness to Agent Spire because she is as slow as molasses. She is really slow. Alright, so we pick Path 2, and then we're on to fight Subject Alpha.
Let's hope that lab is still operational.
We actually failed our first fight, so I'll go ahead and cut ahead to our successful attempt. Starting off, you want to try to pull Subject Alpha into one of the back corners. Unfortunately for us, since we failed the first attempt, he has Defiant. So I just aggro him and then run straight to the back corner, hoping that he'll follow me. Which he does do, so that's lucky. With Subject Alpha, he'll drop AoEs. You want to dodge those AoEs 2 seconds after he drops them. You also want to dodge in the corner to stay at melee the entire time. Even if you are a ranged character, you want to stay at melee. That makes it easier to pick up if you go down, and Subject Alpha has a devastating range attack, which you do not want to be caught in. So stay at melee the entire time, and just dodge the AoEs 2 seconds after they fall into the corner. For our first go of Subject Alpha, we only have to bring him down to 50% health. Then we run through a pretty underwater part, hoping we don't drown. And we're off to fight the golems again. If this looks very familiar, it's because it is, because it's exactly the same as Path 1. So for the golems, you want to stack in the left-hand corner and have one person pull. Once the golems get here, I try to knock them down. Some of the golems have knockdown attacks, so bringing stability can be useful.
Time to do some real damage. Adrenaline rising.
So I knock down the first golems that get here to prevent their strong attacks, and we're just going to DPS them down. And then once the golems are dead, we're on to the laser part.
I could outrun a centaur.
Let's have a dream of what would actually happen if I could jump.
Nothing can bring me down.
Look, I made it. And let's wake up from that dream. I die. There are two methods to get past these lasers. My favorite method is to wait for the vertical bars to come to you and jump as the vertical bars move forward. You can also go about halfway across, stand to the left or the right hand side between the horizontal lasers, exactly in the middle, and the vertical bars won't hit you. So you just stand against the side in the middle of the horizontal bars and you won't get hit by the vertical ones. Once two people make it across, you want to hit the consoles at the same time.
Did they pay her
One
by the
person
word?
that makes it to the other side will have to hit two consoles at once. To do that, just stand between both consoles and hit the F key once. That should activate both of those consoles. Then we're off to fight this golem. He is very similar to the final boss in Honor of the Waves Path 1. You want to stay in melee range the entire time, and then a high DPS character is going to go out and kill the protection totem. This boss will occasionally drop static fields. Do not go through the static fields, you can't even dodge through them. It does a lot of damage and it'll stun you. So it's not even worth it. Just stay in melee and don't walk through the static fields. See here, I'm stuck in a static field and I don't walk through it. If you stay in melee, you get all the buffs. And it's easier for your teammates to revive you if you do go down. Like this guy is very far away, it's hard to revive him. And after we beat the boss, we're on to protect the cannon. On this cannon part, bomb golems are going to converge on the cannon, and you have to destroy the bomb golems before they blow up the cannon. Periodically during the fight, veteran golems will spawn. Those golems will respawn if you kill them too early. I recommend that at least one person stay by the cannon at all times to protect it from bomb golems, and then the other 4 people or 3 people, if that one person doesn't have enough DPS, can kill the vets. I only recommend killing the vets in the first wave that they spawn because usually you cannot kill them again by the time the cannon is destroyed. Our guardian groups up the vets, which is very useful for us because it makes it easier to kill both at the same time. At 95%, you want to group where the chest is going to spawn, and you want to grab the chest and run out of the room to the left. You want to do that as soon as possible because the goal here is to avoid the next champ that spawns. So we grab our chest, we immediately run to the left out the door, and we're going to wait here for the next champ to pass us. If you do happen to aggro the champ, I recommend running all the way to Subject Alpha. There is a safe spot behind the door that you enter. You can go left once you enter that room, and then you can go up. And that is a safe spot to get out of combat and not activate Subject Alpha. So we skip that champ, and then we're on to fight some adds here. You can skip them, but they're really easy and they drop loot, so I always fight them. The big guys explode, and if you're caught in their explosion, they do a lot of damage. So I recommend dodging once you see them explode. If you go down, the easiest way is to rally. There are so many guys dying all the time that you'll probably rally off of something.
Failing me.
And then once these guys are dead, we're going to head to the next group. The next group has Berserker axe wielders. They pack quite a punch, so I recommend killing them first. They have an axe spin attack, which does a lot of damage if you stay in melee. So if you see that attack, get out of there. When I see that attack happening, I knock them down to stop that attack. Once you kill the Berserkers, the guy left is relatively straightforward. He just drains your health, but it's not a lot, so you can take him down pretty quickly. Alright, then we're on to fight Subject Alpha for the second time. For this fight, you want to stack in this corner, and you're going to dodge into the corner like we did for the first fight. The only difference here between this and the first fight is that he'll periodically freeze someone in a purple crystal. One of the main reasons we stack together is so that we can break the crystal easier once someone gets trapped inside it. As a warrior, I equip my Warhorn to use Warhorn 5 to give my party vigor so that they can dodge more.
Such might!
So we pull Subject Alpha over here, and we're just going to dodge 2 seconds after he places his AoEs into the corner. If for some reason he does move out of this corner, although he shouldn't, if you always dodge into the corner, stay with him in melee range. Also a note for warriors that are using the Greatsword, Greatsword 3 will dodge through that attack. So if I'm low on dodges or I want to do damage while I'm dodging, I just use Greatsword 3. If you do see someone go down, try to pick them up as soon as possible, although don't sit through an AoE to do it. And then once we kill the boss, collect the champ chest and event chest, we're going to skip this next part. This next part has wolves that can knock you down, so I recommend either dodging through them or using stability. So our Guardian pops retreat, and then we're just going to run through. For this next boss, the goal here is to use these rifles to lure the bomb golems into the boss. I recommend that 3 people be on rifle duty and that 2 people clear plants. If a bomb golem runs into a plant, it'll blow up. Also, you can use the gun to attack to push the golems into the boss. However, once you use that attack, the golems will instantly explode, so make sure you're close to the boss before you use that attack. Once the boss is at low health, you want to try to get 1 hit on him. You only need 1. That'll make sure that you've tagged the boss, so when he dies, you'll collect his champ chest. So I just Greatsword 3 through there, and I find another rifle to keep using golems. Or I guess there I didn't. I just killed golems on a rampaging killing spree. Then once that boss is dead, we're going to fight Subject Alpha for the last time. We're going to stack in this corner here and do the same thing we did before. We're just going to dodge into the corner 2 seconds after the AoE occurs. We're all going to stay in melee range so that we can break crystals and so that he doesn't use his Dragon Tooth attack. If he does start moving around, it's a bit more likely he'll move around in this fight. Just move with him in melee range. So we just lure Subject Alpha over here and take him down the same as before. This is exactly the same fight. And then once you do that, you're done. You can actually take the teleporter out, but I'm going to leave what happens as a surprise. Thanks for watching, guys.